Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another one of my reaction videos. And today I'm going to be reacting to the new episode of Death Battle, which just came out, which is Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th versus Michael Myers from the Halloween franchise. I am very excited for this episode. I've been waiting for this episode for so long, and the fact that it's coming out on Halloween Day is so cool. Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you guys are all enjoying your day. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Death Battle decides to do with this fight, how they handle the characters. I was told that the fight is a 3D animation and not live action or anything like that, which is a bit disappointing. I think in my perfect world it would have been a live action fight, but I'm not upset or anything. There are some things you can do in animation that you really can't do as well in live action, and I'm not going to ignore that or anything like that. Mainly, I just want to see a cool fight, and 3D definitely would have been my next choice for this kind of fight, so no worries there at all. In terms of who I'm rooting for, I'm not really rooting for either character. I've just more so recently gotten into horror content like movies and games, and I still haven't seen or played a lot of it or anything like that, so, I'm not really rooting for either character specifically, but I can still appreciate the characters for who they are. Like, they're still cool characters. In terms of who I think is going to win, I generally side with Jason for this fight. It just seems like he has better feats overall that can justify him having better stats, and he's probably a little harder to kill as well. Michael may be the stealthier and smarter one of the two, maybe, but other than that, I can't really think of too many things he has over Jason. Of course, Death Battle could prove me wrong. Maybe they'll find something that I just don't know about. That's perfectly possible. But yeah, either way, I'm just really excited for this fight and to see what Death Battle does with it. So without further ado, let's get started. Again, even if it's a 3D fight, I still... Ooh, spookier. Interesting.
It's time we tell
yeah, I still think this is going to be a good fight, hopefully.
Murderer, Jason Voorhees, and the horrifying boogeyman of Haddonfield.
Interesting. I like how they're all sitting around a campfire.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to bring terror and fright on this Halloween night on Death Battle.
Ooh, nice. There's some interesting framing you could do with the animation, absolutely.
Buried but not dead, doomed to rise from the grave and slaughter those who live and love, if you know what I mean. This
right.
is the curse of Jason Voorhees. Rumor has it he was a deformed child, bullied and harassed all of his life, only cared for by his single mother, but not even.
Looks like they're looking at comic stuff too, though. That's cool.
He tragically drowned at Camp Crystal Lake. Or did he? Over time, Crystal Lake...
Well, he probably still drowned, but not died,
And violent deaths, including the camp counselors who should have been watching Jason when he drowned all those years ago. Someone, or something, ... was out for vengeance.
Ooh, ow!
These harrowing murders were committed
yeah,
by none other than Jason.
I'm glad they're not going to be censoring it too much, but still, like, that's...
Seeking revenge
damn.
against those who neglected her child, dooming him to his terrible end. That actually makes a lot of sense. Good for her, I guess. However, even after her...
I mean, understandable, maybe, from a certain point of view.
Nobody could prove it, but maybe, just maybe,
they stay on that shot for a while.
Holy shit! Yeah, he's definitely alive. Wait, has he been living in the lake this whole time? Jason has...
Don't question it. Just don't.
You can swing an axe in his face, blast half his body away, or trap him in an exploding building. Yet it will all be in vain. Even when one of the few survivors of his attacks hacked him to pieces, Jason rose again. Seriously, this happens a lot.
Yeah.
Nobody knows the true source of his unkillable nature. Some say it's an indigenous curse. Others say it's the Necronomicon. And some even say it's a hell worm. So, not too many reasonable answers.
Right.
Either way, be careful, or you just
I mean, in worlds like this, though, is reasonable really the way to approach it?
He uses with enough strength to split skulls and pierce metal. Even when Jason has no weapon, he can be resourceful and oddly creative with his kills. He might bludgeon you to death with a sleeping bag, drown you in a garbage can, or snap you in half between...
Oh, God!
Worst of all, this demented mama's
jeez,
boy
terrible ways to go.
Oh, you think you can run away? Well,
in his arsenal, a tree.
Teleport. No, he can't. Oh, yeah? Well, how about the time he appeared in multiple places?
Yeah, can he teleport?
Around this dance floor. See? Teleport.
You can kind of interpret it multiple ways.
Resulting from a mix of cocaine and panic. Okay, smartass. How about when he teleported from one end of this ship to another? How'd he get there? Actually, when watching the full scene for complete context, there is plenty of time afforded for Jason to jump down the deck while off camera. He is quite athletic.
I mean, yeah, we know he's very fast, so either he's teleporting or he's moving faster than the eye can see.
Look, fans have argued this for years, and while admittedly those moments are questionable, they're not enough to prove actual teleportation. Okay, how about this one? In Jason X, where 3 soldiers are shooting him straight on, and he just disappears. Poof, gone. While they're looking right at him, goddammit, it's teleporting. Well, I'm sure there's a logical explanation.
Again, it's one or the other.
Scene while processing 900 trillion frames per second, and Boomstick is correct.
Ha!
Damn.
Now my eyes
Good for you.
Joy.
You know, Jason can actually teleport.
The torture they put Dummy through.
So, I believe it. I suppose teleporting would explain how, despite his hulking size, Jason can move with ghostly silence and...
Right, I was gonna bring that up too.
One by one. Are you sure about this, Dummy? Dummy?
Oh god. Who's here? Who's there?
Jason's unstoppable bloodlust makes him a horrifying threat. Even if you think you're protected by a foot of solid steel, he'll just crash through it to stab you. And though it's tough to believe, there may actually be a
escaped hell by force. Interesting.
Faster and campier. This is Uber Jason.
Right.
Rebuilt from Jason's remains through a sinister fusion of science and mysticism. And guess what? Normal Jason later fought Uber Jason.
Right. So they are using the scaling.
Yeah, the comics get kind of wacky.
Or something like that. Something similar to it.
Natural for a monster that has fought other supernatural entities. Like Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, and the groovy man himself, Ash Williams.
Nice.
So be warned, if you ever see a shadow moving through the darkness and hear a familiar run, Jason is out to find you, and chances are you are not leaving alive.
Oh no, absolutely not. So not a lot in the way of numbers, but I think I get the gist of it.
Was born into the world as a seemingly normal child. However, beneath his pale,
not deformed, I guess.
Face hid something dark.
Maybe
something
mentally deformed.
Evil. How evil? Well, he stabbed his sister Judy to death when he was just 6 years old. Oh, what a rascal. Michael was institutionalized
Damn
in a
kids.
sanitarium where he simply sat still, almost like a machine. His psychiatrist, Dr. Loomis, spent 8 years trying to reach him, but Michael never said a word. But even when locked up, he still managed to get away with several murders, including Loomis.
His mask is modeled after William Shatner. I did know that, yeah.
Michael, more than anything, he wanted to kill. After 15 years, the night before Halloween, he broke out of the sanitarium, leaving behind one word. Sister. The story goes Michael had another sibling, Lori.
Oh.
And for some unknowable reason, he wanted her to suffer the same fate as Judy.
And he wanted people to know he was going to do that?
And he could do it too. For in his hands, anything can be a deadly weapon. Countless reports of various murders have appeared across Haddonfield. He's exploded heads, boiled people alive, and used his trademark
all these
knife
awful
to
ways to go.
to walls like some macabre piece of art. When
right.
they say to admire your work, I don't think this is what they meant. And this isn't some
yeah, literally anything else he can get his hands on. Right.
This with an ordinary kitchen knife. Michael is also surprisingly clever, despite being confined for nearly all his life. At some point, he apparently taught himself how to drive. It's pretty clear this masked psycho was definitely plotting something while he was in the ward. All these tales were just a detour to his ultimate goal, Lori. On an all-too-familiar Halloween night, he finally met his long-lost sister and nearly killed her. But Loomis intervened, shooting Michael and sending him out a window. Phew, well, guess that's the end of him. Yeah, you know it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
But the body simply
a short rundown.
To return later that night as if nothing had happened. There's a reason why they call him the Boogeyman. Even after being set on fire and rendered comatose, Michael Myers would not be stopped.
Yeah.
Almost like he's some
he still has a ton of stamina.
Dead monster.
Many explanations have been given for Michael's strange abilities, but some less reputable sources suggest he's bound to the ancient druidic Curse of Thorn, whose symbol is, well, they say it's an ancient icon of Halloween, but it's actually the Norse rune for Thor, sometimes called
just for Thor? Okay.
Rune. I think they just Googled rune and thorn and called it a day.
Whoa. Is Michael Myers a Viking? Yes! awesome! Curse or no curse, Michael is inexplicably driven to kill without hesitation, and his victims almost
Is someone else gonna
never see
disappear?
him coming.
Yeah, had a feeling.
Well, explaining Michael away with
Guess
a
we won't be
vague
seeing
curse
any more
is nothing
DBX.
more than a crutch for the truth. The fact of the matter is, no one knows why he is so cruel, so violent, so unstoppable. He just is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, evil gives no explanation, only despair. Michael thrives not just on the satisfaction of murder, but the
Yikes.
fear it inflicts in others. Even scarier, his kills are done with surgical precision. He can murder you as quickly or slowly as he wants.
Right.
This guy knows exactly what he's doing with that kitchen knife.
How effective
It's
will
like
that be
a
against someone like
bungee jump
Jason,
of death.
though?
And yet, his attacks were almost brought to an end by Laurie herself. But when the time came for the final blow, Michael proved his intelligence and wit by faking his own death using a body double. Oh, well,
All right.
his sister to commit murder for him. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed. He's also either impossibly sneaky, or he can use teleportation.
Right.
He once moved through a yard full of motion sensors without setting off a single one until he wanted to.
Right.
Look at this. There's just
Again,
no
is he just moving
stopping him.
fast, or is it
Million bullets,
teleportation?
Michael will come back ready to rip off your head. Put him in the center of an exploding church. He'll survive and go on to
Damn.
kill dozens more people, just for dramatic effect. It was this relentless evil that made the people of Haddonfield go ballistic and band together to end Michael Myers once and for all.
Well, at that point, yeah.
The town would soon realize that was just not possible. Any ordinary person.
Well, what else are you
would
gonna
have been long
do?
dead after what he experienced, but he took all of the
Oh, 1 second.
ordinary person would have been long dead.
All right,
after
backed
what
up a
he
little bit.
experienced.
Sorry,
But he
YouTube ads
took
are the
all of
worst.
The town's punishment, got right back up, and went right back to doing what he
Oh,
does
God damn it.
best. And you know what's the creepiest part about all this? They never caught him. He's still out there.
I do get the
looking for his
appeal of
next
horror
prey,
movies
assume.
now. I
So
used to not
every
really
Halloween
understand
night,
it, but
lock your doors,
maybe I should
turn
get
off
into
your
these.
lights, and pray you'll make it to morning. Because the boogeyman is real, and his name is Michael Myers.
Well, they both sound really cool.
This episode of
And
Death
really
Battle is sponsored by
unstoppable, for that matter.
If you're like me,
Alright, let's skip through this.
This episode is sponsored by
Oh, we have another ad. Okay, 1 second.
Battery. Fill out a quick today to get 10%. Been told and terror runs.
Let's back up a little bit. Okay. And then
That's
when they,
betterhelp.com
introduce the characters again, I'll pause and I'll give my thoughts.
All right, the tales have been told and terror runs free. Let's see which monster will stalk another day. It's time for a spooky death battle!
Yay! Spooky death battle. All right, so I will say that Michael is a little more impressive than I was thinking. Like, I knew that Jason had survived, like, building-sized explosions before, although Michael also survived that church explosion, which, is something I'm not sure if I was aware of that feat. I think it's definitely more than what I was thinking necessarily for Michael. I'm still not sure if that church was as big as or the explosion, I guess more so, was as big as the ones Jason was surviving. I'd still want to say Jason is probably a little harder to kill still. Like, I feel like he's just survived crazier things than Michael. Granted, Michael still hasn't, he survived a ton of stuff too, and is, kind of still an unstoppable force or whatever, but if he hasn't survived the same things that Jason has, then it's kind of how do you interpret that, right? Do you just say, oh, they have the same level of survivability, or do we assume that Jason is better because he survived more, right? Because if you don't have the proof, then you don't have the proof, so that's a little interesting. I did catch some other things, they were saying that that Michael, he flipped a car one time. That was really impressive. They both can possibly teleport. It seems like that's kind of how they're interpreting it, which is perfectly fine with me. Again, a lot of this kind of stuff is really up for interpretation. But yeah, so they really did not say a lot in terms of numbers, and I feel like a lot of that is going to be in the conclusion. And who knows, maybe that's because the numbers really just give everything away. I will say, though, that the fact that Jason has fought Uber Jason and, other characters like Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, and Ash, I feel like his experience is definitely better. I think he's going to be better suited fighting against someone somewhat like him than Michael would be. Did they say anything about their speed? Because I'm pretty sure that Jason has, like, dodged bullets before from, like, a helicopter. Whereas Michael, I know at least one instance where he's dodged a bullet, but usually he's just tanking the bullets, which is still impressive, but of course when you compare it to the explosion stuff, well, that's not really needed to be brought up anymore. So, I don't know. I still want to say Jason. Assuming that one character is going to die. I'm pretty sure one character is going to die, but I still want to say Jason just because I think, based on what they've said, there's more room for him to get higher numbers when they start talking about the numbers. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe Michael will actually win. Again, they didn't really say a lot in terms of numbers, so it's really tough for me to decide. They're making them sound pretty darn even. But I still want to say that Jason probably still has a bit more in terms of survivability and just capabilities and potential in terms of his stats. That's just me, though. But yeah, without further ado, let's watch this battle.
Mother is talking to you.
Interesting start.
Blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
This really is the Halloween episode. All right. This is a good way to start it. Just them doing what they normally do. So that's definitely Jason. Cool shot, like through the mask. But where's Michael? Oh, he's behind him. Ow! Okay. Are they just like fighting over like victims now, or maybe I don't know. Oh shoot! Jesus Christ!
Alex!
But that's not it.
We gotta go!
Come on, Jason. There we go. There we go. Honestly, this is still pretty appropriate, like them just fighting other people or going after other people throughout the fight. Because if we're going to let Jason get a kill, might as well let Michael get one. There we go. He's probably not dead. Definitely not dead, but... Yay. Oh, Jason's there. It's like, no, my victim. Very interesting way to do this. You're not safe. Yeah, not at all. Ooh. Ow!
Kill him, Jason. Kill him.
Ooh.
Mother proud.
Come on, Jason. Ow! Yikes! Oh! Oh my god! Is that it? Slow walk away. All right. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Are we sure he's dead? You can't be too
Are
careful
we?
with these guys. Michael Myers won't be rising from the grave this time. Jason was too much for him. The stories may paint these slashers as unstoppable, but they do have limits and can be understood.
To Michael's
Right.
credit, he could match Jason in a lot of ways. Both were experts in methods of killing, and both could totally teleport.
Okay.
Theoretically. Though if both of them really could teleport, then neither had an advantage in that regard. So
Right.
teleportation deniers can rest easy knowing it wasn't really a factor here.
Even the explosions they both survived were similar in size and destructibility.
So they were similar.
Jason
Okay.
held the edge with his superior endurance and healing. Michael
Right,
his
there we
body
go.
double was clever, but he did it because he explicitly could not survive something like decapitation or getting half his torso blown off.
But Jason
All right.
could. He also had more experience fighting other supernatural
Yeah,
entities like
exactly.
Leatherface, Freddy, and his uber self. So I doubt Michael could have surprised him with something he's never seen before.
Yeah.
Jason was just as strong and vicious as Michael, if not more. So given the difference in survivability, he had a much better chance of striking Michael down first. In a battle between two unkillable monsters, it's only natural it would come down to who was more unkillable.
Yeah, exactly.
Ripped to pieces.
If you have to choose a winner.
Now rip in peace. Right, Jocelyn?
Rippin'. Oh, god damn it.
Jocelyn? Hello?
The winner is Jason Voorhees.
All right. Is that it?
Thank you for
Okay, we're not
watching.
cutting
Stay
back.
tuned.
That's
We'll be
fine.
jumping into the next matchup next
Okay,
week.
I'll talk about this
Skip the Death Battle right
after we
now.
see the next time.
Those boxes right
Have
over
an
there.
idea of what it
And
might
by downloading
be.
the battle music linked down below.
So next time on Death Battle is... Who's that? That is the Lich King, and that is Sauron. Okay, yeah, I had a strong feeling that this was going to be the next time. We knew that Sauron was coming to Death Battle, and a lot of people were saying that it was probably going to be the Lich King from World of Warcraft as his opponent. It would, and if it was Sauron versus Lich King, it was either going to be this episode or the next one, because they revealed Sauron was coming, and they wouldn't have revealed that if this was the season finale, and there's 3 episodes left. So it was either going to, so the Sauron fight was either going to be this episode or next episode, and the Sauron fight was either going to be against the Lich King or someone like Voldemort. I was thinking maybe there was a chance it could have been him just because he's really popular, but I definitely think that this is the better fight, and I'm happy that we're getting it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. 2 very different characters from what Death Battle is typically used. And finally, another video game character. If we exclude Excalibur versus Raiden, this is like the second video game character after Jinx, unless you want to throw in Silver, but he's kind of a comic book character in that case. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this fight. Lord of the Rings is really awesome, and World of Warcraft is also pretty awesome. So, you know, I'm excited to see how it all turns out. But that's all about next time. Let's talk about this battle. So, I will say I have kind of mixed feelings on it. Like, yes, the 3D did allow for some things that live action maybe wouldn't have allowed for as easily, like the spilling of blood everywhere, and like maybe some of the fluidity of the camera movements and the location as well. I feel like there were some things that the 3D definitely took advantage of. I still feel like it could have gone further though, especially when it came to the combat between Jason and Michael. They spent a lot more time on killing other people than I expected, and I probably would have preferred if they kept that to a minimum, like at least to a bit of a lesser degree, and focused more on the combat. I understand that these are characters that aren't super versatile in abilities or anything like that, so, you know, you can only do so much before it starts getting repetitive, but this just felt very quick to me. And I understand why they had that long shot at the end. It's almost like, wait, is it over? Is it over? Maybe lasted a little too long, though, because at that point I was just waiting for the KO screen to come. But I still think it was animated decently enough. There were some moments where it looked a little stiff, especially at the beginning where, I forget if it was Jason or Michael, but someone just like dragging the body across. But still, you know, I still appreciate it for what it was. Like, it still had that creepy vibe for sure. There are probably just some things I would have done differently. But if you really enjoyed this and you appreciated like the creepiness and I guess staying true to the characters for, like, you know, as much as they attack people, then I totally understand that, and, you know, I'm happy that you enjoyed it. I still enjoyed this episode. It's just, I guess, me, someone who's not as familiar with the characters, I was just expecting more of a fight. But still, you know, it still makes perfect sense to me why they decided to go that route. Again, though, part of me thinks, what if it was live action, you know, because I feel like they did take advantage of 3D, but they could have taken more advantage of 3D. But of course, they have their own reasons for that. I don't want to criticize animation too much because, you know, it's still really difficult to do. But in terms of animation direction, maybe I would have done something a little different. But that's just me, though. Again, if you enjoyed it, that's perfectly cool. I enjoyed it, too. In terms of the analyses, they definitely made both the characters sound very evenly matched, at least in any way that they could. It seemed like they had survived similar explosions, but it still was pretty clear to me that Jason just had more survivability. Like, he's just withstood crazier things and come back from crazier things. And even if Michael has come back from crazy things as well, it's like, okay, well, how easy is it really to kill him? There's still more proof that Jason has come back from crazier things. So if you have to choose a winner, you have to choose Jason, you know, because you have to choose who survived the crazier things, who's proven that they can, you know? And yeah, they, of course, it's kind of hard to hide the fact that Jason has just fought other supernatural beings before. So in this kind of fight where both of them are pretty evenly skilled, it's like, okay, well, it's going to be who's done this kind of thing before. So the analyses I thought were well put together. I thought it was interesting how they were doing the whole campfire thing. People were disappearing, which was funny, but maybe I was expecting a bit more payoff for that, like we were seeing who was doing it, but, you know, it doesn't really matter too much to me. It was still funny for when it was happening. And yeah, again, the analyses made sense. I thought they were funny enough. The whole teleportation debate, you know, I'm happy that they kind of said, you know, it's not confirmed, like if you're a teleportation denier, like that's okay. For me personally, I just kind of see it as up for interpretation, because it's either that they're teleporting or they're moving faster than the eye can track. Because like Boomstick said, like people can see him, you know, standing right there, and then they see him, like they're looking there until he's gone. So it has to be one or the other. But yeah, like it didn't really seem like the biggest thing for me. But yeah, didn't really talk a lot about speed, seemed to be even in durability, but yeah, it was mainly just the experience and survivability that gave Jason the win, which is perfectly fine for me. They probably could have gone a little more in depth in terms of like their exact feats, but it was clear that they were prioritizing the creepy vibe over the analyses and animation, which again, I kind of have mixed feelings on. There are some times where I think like, okay, well, I maybe would have preferred them to focus more on the death battle aspect rather than the Halloween aspect. But that's still just me, you know. Again, I still enjoyed this episode for what it was, and I'm happy we have Jason versus Michael that I can go back to and watch whenever I want. You know, I'm still really happy about that. And if you loved how they did it, that's perfectly fine. For me, I might have changed a few things, but I will say that the creepiness was still effective. Like, it's not like they did it poorly. It's just maybe I would have, I say this a lot, maybe I would have changed some things here and there. But like, again, for what they were doing, totally appreciate it, totally understand it. This was still an enjoyable video. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Who do you think should have won? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Comment your comments down below. Subscribe if you could too. That would be amazing. But no matter what you guys do, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for me. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.